Thank you. May have your seats. So good morning once again. And to get us started, I'd like to recognize the presence of Ezra Chiloba, Director General Communications Authority of Kenya, Peter Ndegwa, CEO of Safaricom, Will Meng, CEO of Huawei, and Rami Hashem, Nokia Managing Director for Safaricom. All other protocols observed, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, here at Yaya Center, and also those joining us on the live stream, good morning once again. I'd like to welcome you for the commercial launch of Kenya's first 5G network. And we are here to have a conversation about that. Kenya's first 5G network, Safaricom 5G. My name is Mbogo Njehia, and I'm honored to be your moderator for today and take you through the proceedings of the day. So we're here to talk about or have a conversation around technology, and specifically how Safaricom is going beyond to create the future of connectivity. I'm talking about Safaricom bringing the first 5G network in Kenya. 5G has been a buzzword in the telecom space for the past few years, but locally we are really yet to grasp it in terms of its potential and really experience it. But before we even get to 5G and talk about the new and shiny stuff, it's important that we also take a look back and see what our journey to this point has been. And I'd like to take you back to October 2000, when Safaricom launched the 2G network that covered only Nairobi and Mombasa. That's in October 2000. And then over the course of 2001, all major towns in Kenya came on net, and in 2002, the Nairobi-Mombasa highway got covered. In 2004, mobile internet came, paving the way for the entry of 3G in 2007. In December 2014, Safaricom launched Kenya's first 4G network, and in 2016, the network grew to over 3,800 sites, and the fiber network passed 140,000 homes. Today, more than 97% of the country's population is covered by the 4G network. And in 2021, we went beyond and launched the next generation of our network, 5G, a network which began in pilot across different areas of the country. Today, as Safaricom works towards realizing its strategy of transforming into a purpose-led technology company, by 2025, we are here to celebrate the fact that you can actually enjoy 5G in select parts of Nairobi. Those physically present here at Yaya, you've probably already had the experience at the different centers outside and seen what 5G can do for gamers, for businesses, for your home, whether you're streaming or playing. And you've actually felt the difference that comes to it in terms of speed. Now, to keep this conversation going, remember I said online, the hashtag is Safaricom 5G. So with your phones on silent, do remember to get onto the social media and tweet. And speaking about matters technology and speed, I'd like to invite Morten Bangsgaard, Safaricom's Chief Technology and Information Officer, to give his remarks. Morten, karibu.
Good morning, everyone. And a warm welcome to the launch of the first commercial 5G network in Kenya. A special welcome to our guest of honor, Ezra Chiloba, the Director General of Communication Authority of Kenya. We have our CEO, Peter, here, and our board member, Michael Joseph. Also welcome to our technology partners, media, and many fantastic colleagues from Safaricom. This is the fifth generation of mobile technology. It's a first in Kenya. It's the third for me personally. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know. For some, I think it's the fourth, but lucky I see some young faces in the back, which I hope is the first launch here. If we look at the history of mobile technology, we can say 2G was for voice. 3D introduced internet on the go. 4G has been very much about video. So that's new about 5G. First, and I think more importantly on short term is, of course, it does everything better than the previous technology. So it brings fiber-like speeds onto your handsets and also brings it into the home and businesses. And as you will see in the back, that is exactly some of the things that we'll be launching today. But 5G wasn't born just from a smartphone perspective. 5G was born with an idea of many things being connected, up to thousands, even hundreds of thousands of things connected within 1 square kilometer. This has been a trend also on other technology, and in Safaricom today we already have more than 1 million connected devices supporting various enterprises in the country. But there's one more thing that 5G will bring. It's the first mobile technology that can react faster than humans. And we're already seeing some trials around the world in Korea on cities where 5G-enabled cars and pedestrian smartphones are communicating. So if there's a dangerous situation, the 5G network will break the car before it hits the pedestrian. So these are some of the new things coming with the 5G technology. But 5G is not the only exciting technology happening at the moment. As I mentioned, more and more devices are born with connectivity to the internet using various technologies. We're also seeing cloud computing making very big data analytic accessible. So together with the new connectivity with 5G and fiber and 4G we have, with devices all being able to connect to the internet and the ability to process huge amounts of data, we are excited to work with both the private and the public sector over the coming years to bring these new ideas to life. And we will do that in collaborations with some of our global technology partners like Vodafone. We have Huawei here today. We also have Nokia here. And we are looking forward to bring this all together. So when we talk about new technologies, often when we go 2 years ahead, things hasn't moved as much as we had expected. But when we look 10 years ahead, typically we can't even imagine how much these new technologies can change how we live and how we work. So with that, I would say, let's go beyond together. Thank you.
Thank you, Morten. I think what I picked from his short speech is that powering new ideas. What can you do now that you are always on, now that it is more reliable, now that it is super fast? Now we know that Safaricom didn't build this network alone. And the spirit of partnering for growth, which was the anchor concept of the sustainability report that was launched last week, I'd like to invite the representatives from Nokia and Huawei who are instrumental in helping build Safaricom's 5G network. First up, I'd like to invite Rami Hashem, Nokia's Managing Director for Safaricom, to give his remarks. Rami.
Good morning, everyone. This is Rami Hashem. I'm the Nokia Managing Director for Safaricom. We have, in partnership with Safaricom for the last 22 years, since the very early days of introducing 2G, 3G, 4G, and now the 5G. In my career, I've been moving for the last 14 years from one country to the other, from Egypt, Dubai, Ghana, Nigeria, and now Kenya. And it has been a dream hearing about Safaricom and the leadership in the African market throughout my career. And I wanted to join here, and it happened 2 years ago. When I joined here, I've seen why Safaricom is so special. I've seen their customer experience is more superior in the African market. Their love and passion about innovation is so special. And it's not only words. I've tried to, after the COVID, to look into Spain, other countries that I traveled to, and I started comparing Safaricom to Spain, to Portugal, to Greece, to South Africa and Egypt. And to be very honest, I was quite impressed that even the 3G here of Safaricom is better than the 4G in Spain or Portugal, even better than. So congratulations, really it's a very good and good job done. So what is special about Safaricom and the special recipe of Safaricom? I would link it to three things. First, customer obsession in the heart of Safaricom, of all what you're doing. But other than that, the innovation and technology. You are so passionate about innovation, and you invest a lot in your network. I can see that you don't spare any money to spend in the network improvement, upgrades, and updates. About 5G, as we are here today, the 5G technology, I've presented the first encounter with the 5G was in 2015. It was in a sales conference for Nokia, and I presented what is 5G. That was 7 years ago. And I kept 5 things in mind for the 5G. The first one being, as Morten said, reliability and consistency of the service. Today with the 5G, whether you are at home, at road, outside or outdoor, or in a stadium, in a mall like Yaya Center, you will have a consistent service of the 5G. That is built into the 5G design as of today. The second point being the massive connectivity that we are seeing with the 5G. In 2015, the target of the 5G design was to connect 7 billion people and 70 billion things. 70 billion things, it means that for each of us, the prediction is we'll have 10 smart devices per person. What does it mean? We'll have smart watches, smart devices, smart homes. Those are all connected on the 5G technology. But what else other than that? The low latency of the 5G, Morten, you mentioned that one as well. It's how quick the application and the service will react to your requirement. And this makes a huge difference with the 5G technology. The other thing that was on the network slicing, I don't want to talk technical things, but on the slicing, it means that I'm giving a dedicated network for each of us, for each entity. To Mr. Peter Nedegwa or Mr. Michael Joseph will be giving a dedicated slice of the network, meaning that nobody is sharing it. To the media, will be giving a slice for their services and broadcasting. To Yaya Center or in a stadium in a football match, I will give you a slice of a network that is dedicated for you. This makes a huge difference with the 5G. And we have done that and demonstrated that 2 months ago with Safaricom. It was the first in Africa to introduce the 5G slicing technology. That was done in July and announced in July. The other thing, it's not yet there, but the promise of the 5G that the smart devices will connect for years on a single charge, meaning that one battery life charge will take you for years, not for days as of today. This is something very unique for 5G. Is 5G a reality today? Yes, certainly. We have 1 billion, close to 1 billion subscribers being connected on 5G today. By next year, we're looking at 2 billion connected 5G subscribers worldwide. How would it change our life, the 5G? If we look at the journey of the technologies from the second generation 20 years ago, it introduced the voice and the messaging, and it made a huge difference in how we communicate. The 3G came with data and internet, and now we are having all our applications like email and chatting on our mobile phone on the move. 4G came with a promise of the high definition streaming. Now that we are seeing Netflix, YouTubes, and others on our mobile phones, but as well the video communications. Who would have believed that the COVID would come and we don't have this capability of the 4G to communicate on video stream? It wouldn't have been possible thanks to the 4G. Who would have imagined 20 years ago that you could call your family that is 3,000 kilometers away on a video call face to face? This was a science fiction 20 years ago. So all the generation that came, it made a huge difference. And the 5G is no different than that. The 5G, and this is more about practical examples. Last year in the event of Safaricom, we have introduced the hologram. This is when Mr. Peter Nedegwa, he was on stage, and talking to his team in Kisumu, and it felt so real that the team is standing right in front of us on the stage. Hologram, it's not science fiction again. Today in the presidential election of France, of India, of Philippines, of Indonesia, they are using the holograms. Even in concert, musical concert, we have seen Tupac, who died in 1996. They revived him again on stage with a hologram in 2012 with Snoop Dogg. That was insane. But what other than that? And we are showing in the demo today some virtual shopping and fashion augmented reality fashion shopping. But to us as users, we'll see that we are getting the fiber-like connectivity at home, anywhere and everywhere. Meaning that today, if you're a gamer, a professional gamer, and you are downloading Call of Duty, it's 200 gig. Usually it will take days. On 5G, we're talking about minutes to download those kind of games on your console. Personally, when I upload my videos on YouTube, I prefer to go to home to do the upload. Right? But today with the 5G, you can do it in a matter of seconds from your mobile phone anywhere. On the video calls, today we're using a lot Teams, Zoom, WebEx, you name it. Those big players, they are working on developing virtual headset and virtual reality headset to engage with the end user, that you are talking to the other people right in front of you as if it's actually real. They will be handing you over engines or tools or other things on the virtual reality, and you will be engaging with them. This is not far-fetched. We are looking at 1 or 2 years that we will see this in the market. But what about the economy and the industry and the enterprise? The UN and the ITU, they had a research paper that says that with every 10% of penetration on broadband, the GDP per capita will increase by 2.5%, especially for Africa. This is something huge. And I would like to give 2 examples here. You might have seen the video on Twitter with regards to Amazon, how the Amazon warehouse is functioning and how it's fulfilling our orders. Hundreds of robots being around the warehouse, being coordinated by a network, a reliable network like the 5G, to coordinate those robots together to fulfill our orders. This is only one example, but a personal example that I've seen in Kenya, while being in Limuru for the tea plantation last year. I've met some of the farmers, and they told me about the tea quality of Kenya has degraded over the last year. Why is that? Because they are using machines to harvest the tea plant. And what happens, it takes not the tip of the tea plant, it takes the stem on top of that. And that degrades a lot the tea quality and the taste. Imagine that those machines, hundreds of those machines going into the Limuru tea plantation farm, coordinated by the 5G, with artificial intelligence, it will be able to pick the tip of the tea plant to give the best quality. That is a very practical example that we can see from the 5G to the industry and to the enterprise. In Nokia, we believe that those applications and use cases will not be developed by the West or for Asia for us. In Africa, we need to develop our own application. And that's why we have created our 5G platform with open platform, meaning that we can get all the stakeholders in the market, the marketeers, the sales, developers, application developers, to come together to develop our own use cases for Africa. And I believe this is key for the success of the 5G. I believe 5G is part of our future. There is no doubt about that, and it's for us to take it. And watch out this space, how the 5G will evolve over the next years. Watch out what Safaricom will introduce into the market, into the region here. Write your stories on the social media, and I will be looking out for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rami. I think important is that people keep asking, what makes Safaricom tick? And Rami has given you like a cheat sheet. He said the first thing is customer obsession. And many times people struggle to interpret what that means. And for me, it just means listening a lot more intently and trying to fashion yourself to make sure that you can actually meet the needs of that constituency. And of course, the second layer to that is innovation and sparing no cost in terms of saying, you know what, we're going to dive in, we're going to invest in this new technology, we're going to put it on pilot, we're going to see if it's something that the market really needs, and saying money is not an issue when it comes to finding a perfect fit for the community. I think some of the examples that Rami gave are also super important, that 5G is also going to be transformational for things like the enterprise. He spoke about Amazon warehouses that are being automated with smart bots and AI. I mean, another buzzword there when people talk about machine learning and artificial intelligence. But now with 5G, we start bringing some of those concepts home and making them more relatable for more people. That's on the enterprise side. What about on the consumer side? I think everyone should get to try out the virtual shopping experience. Yo suti tatoshanaje? You know, for the ladies, how's that shade of lipstick? Is it mauve? How's it going to look on you before you make that purchase? All these things that are going to be immersive sort of experiences are really exciting to look at. My personal interest is in gaming, because I'm a father to a preteen, and from getting our Fortnite updates to him telling me I'm getting beaten by someone out in Dubai, my ping time is too low, I'm lagging, Dad, I'm lagging. Now all that becomes an issue of the past. Now, to build on that, I'd like to invite Will Meng, the CEO of Huawei Kenya office, to give his remarks. Karibu.
So, Mr. Ezra Chaliba, Mr. Peter Ndaiwa, and Mr. Michael Joseph, and other distinguished guests, good morning, everyone. So first of all, I'm very happy to be here to attend this Safaricom 5G commercial launch. I think the first words I would like to say, I would like to thank Peter. You bring this fantastic 5G service to me. Then when I, watch TV, when I'm in my bed, then I can suffer with my 5G signal. It's very fast, and then I can connect with my family. It's very good experience. So I think for this 5G FWA services, it can make more and more Kenyan people to access internet. That will change people's life. I still remember in 2G's era, at that time, we don't have that very high-speed internet experience. So it's very difficult to sell your product to other country, to other province. But when the 4G come to us, when we have some commercial, like commercial shopping, and we can sell our product to anywhere, to all of the world. This is very important for everyone. And in East Africa, I think Kenya is the first country we launched 5G. Because I manage some East Africa countries, I think Kenya, our speed is very fast. We always keep leading. This is Safaricom's role, I think. So I think it's my honor we can stand here with Safaricom to have 5G experience. As Morten mentioned, the 5G come to us. I think maybe next step is we can discuss about 6G. So Huawei is the world's biggest 5G actually manufacturer. Last year in China, we have over 2.2 million 5G sites. And Kenya, we have maybe 100, maybe more than 100. But I think this process will be very fast. So every Kenya, we can enjoy the 5G benefits from this. And even outside of this camp, we have 3 5G innovation center with Safaricom, and we think we will find more and more suitable 5G use case together with Safaricom, maybe in agriculture, in education, in many areas. So this is our thinking about that. And last one, we believe we have the ability to support Safaricom to success. This is what I want to see. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. As any great vendor does, he's already looking at the next step. He's already mentioning, 6G. I was reading on some of the implementations that Huawei has done globally, and one of the interesting ones that stuck out for me, especially in the enterprise space, was the sort of work they've done in mining out in China. And they've got these really deep mines that the temperature around that area can get to 40, 45 degrees Celsius. And traditionally, you had drivers and crew working these massive trucks, right? And would spend entire days, 8 hours a day, in the sweltering heat of these trucks doing their stuff. But now with 5G, guess what happens? These guys are now in an air-conditioned office, 5 kilometers off-site, and literally donning some really fancy goggles and controlling these trucks remotely, courtesy of 5G. Now, what does that tell us about the potential? Remember earlier I said is once you've been enabled, I think the limit is how boldly you can dream. Because my personal opinion is that anything's possible. It's just that the tools need to be available, readily available, and affordable to allow those dreams to become a reality, and that's how you push the envelope. So moving on, earlier when we started, I gave you a short journey of Safaricom's history. And to know if you guys here, and also the guys online, if you're paying attention, we're going to run a short quiz. Most of you know Kahoot. And we're going to see if you've been paying attention, because we've got some airtime goodies to give away. So on your phones, go to kahoot.it, kahoot.it, and you'll be asked to enter a six-digit code. Is it a 6-digit code? The code is on your screen or also on your phone once you go on there. Na ni maswali mboga sana. Maswali mboga sana. We're waiting for players. Guys, you may not be on 5G, but I'm sure right now you're on 4G. So chap. Even if you call yourself 5G, it's not a guarantee that you're ahead of the rest. I see familiar names. Identify yourself with your real name so that if you get it wrong, we know you're getting it wrong. And if you get it right, we will know who's I don't know, who's HMN. Yeah? So we'll give it a few more seconds. That's 55 people on. Let's try get that. Can we get to 100? Okay, yes. Can we get that to 100 before we begin? And the podium finish, there's going to be 7 Gs, Safaricom airtime for the guy who comes in number 1. There's going to be 5K in Safaricom airtime for number 2, and there's going to be 3K for the guy who comes in third. So if you're a mathematician, please calculate your odds as that number rises. We're at 132, 135. Shall we get to 150 and then start? Okay, 150 is already here. Excellent. So question number 1. On October 23rd, 2000, Safaricom launched with a network that only covered 2 cities. Which are these 2 cities? It's not a trick question. Wow, 120 people have already answered. You've got 8 seconds to go. 7 seconds, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. What are these 2 guys? Who are these 2 fellas? Not paying attention. Anyway, that's how 7,000 Bob in airtime just peters you like that. Moz is leading. We shall go to question number 2. What year was mobile internet first available on Safaricom? Mobile internet. Warp trick. Why you went to download free music? Two, 1. Excellent. 2004. Now to question 3. Leaderboard. Ian Teke. I told you. Put your name so that we know you. What year was Safaricom's 3G network officially rolled out in Kenya? When was 3G rolled out officially in Kenya? Answers coming in hard and fast. 166, guys. (2007), 88 people got that right. Ian still leading that charge. There's been a bit of change up with Chini. True or false? 4G plus. Your plus ni nini? You've got a 50% chance of getting this right. Just press. There's some guys who got it wrong. Next one. Hey, someone's on fire. Tech-ish has a streak, 4 correct answers in a row. What does 5G stand for? Fifth grade. Okay. I think it's 5 generations. Like I said, swali mboga sana. Wow, okay. 5 generations. I think someone's confusing it for a soap. Yeah? So the podium is here. Number 3, a guy called Ken. Now, Ken could be in this audience or could also be remote. And number 1 is Tech-ish. Round of applause for Tech-ish. I think Tech-ish is fairly well known. So hapo hizi tucheza. But for PG and Ken, whoever you are, wherever you are, please take a screenshot of your podium finish, right? Take that screenshot and then send it to eventsagency2@safaricom.co.ke. Eventsagency2@safaricom.co.ke. Even you other guys you can send. You never know. That someone could be generous on the other side and decide, you know, there's additional airtime or maybe some mtapata ka mobile data. So just send to eventsagency2@safaricom.co.ke. So thank you all for participating and being such a sport. Na kama umenoa, just brush up. Information is freely available, fast, on Google on your phone, or you could call, you know, that show that says call a friend. You know, call a friend and find out some of the answers to these questions. As you said earlier, it's really great to see how Safaricom has partnered with both Nokia and Huawei to build the future of connectivity in Kenya. And as we know, for Safaricom, the agenda is to deliver superior customer experiences. Now, as we come closer to the official launch of 5G, we'll dive into a discussion panel or fireside chat that kind of like explores what is the promise of 5G. And we're going to look at the experience of this 5G across different sectors. In the breakout areas, you've seen, you know, what can 5G enable for the home? What can 5G enable for the enterprise? What can 5G enable even for SMEs? And I'd like to have my panelists join me on stage. And I'll start with a gentleman called Moses Kemibaro. Moses is the founder and CEO. Moses, kindly join me on stage. Moses is the founder and CEO of .Savvy, Kenya's first digital business agency that provides integrated digital business solutions to some of Africa's biggest businesses. His experience spans across digital marketing strategy, creative design, business apps, technology integration, to name but a few. Moses, karibu. Next on stage is Brian Beast Dianga. Now, Brian is a professional esports player. Looks the part. Brian, karibu. Looks the part. Brian is a professional esports player, an established leader in the gaming community in Kenya. He's won multiple international tournaments, including Injustice 2, Dragon Ball Z, and it's Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Z. Yeah? The lingo must be proper. It's Dragon Ball Z and Mortal Kombat. He serves as a vice president of Team Reeves, an esports team hailing from not Kenya, but Tokyo, Japan. This guy was also featured as a use case in a school syllabus. So what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an esports player. The same things, in my time, if you said a musician, eyes would roll. You're like, are you sure? We're not paying all these fees for you to go be a musician now. And what will parents say? It's like, fantastic, go for it. Now we are seeing guys like The Beast being featured as use cases in the same way that probably Safaricom is being featured in Harvard Business Studies. And he's right here with us today. And last but not least, I'd like to call onto stage Rehema Wachira, a full-stack developer with Andela, who brings in a wealth of experience in terms of building solutions and applications across different spectrums: e-commerce, healthcare, insurance, and nonprofit. So as we explore the promise of 5G, I'd like to welcome these guests, and maybe starting with Moses. I've given a brief overview of who you are and what you do, but maybe you could give us a bit more depth into that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mbugwa. It's a pleasure to be here and to be a guest here with Safaricom. So I've been in this space a long time, essentially digital services. My company, .Savvy, has been actually this year 20 years. And we work in the space of building websites, social media, content, etc. Also on the side, I'm a blogger. I write about technology, I put up content and do that sort of thing. So my entire career from day one has been on the internet, if you can believe that, almost 30 years. So from the very early days of, if any of you know the Hayes Acura modem, anyone know what that is? Michael Joseph is smiling, I think he does. So that's where we started, connecting people many, many years ago, and till today still they're doing it.
Fantastic. Rehema?
Hi, yes. I'm Rehema Wachira. I'm a software developer at Andela. Andela is a company that helps organizations build distributed engineering teams. And I've had the opportunity to work for clients in e-commerce, health insurance, and the nonprofit sector. And actually, a few years ago, or once upon a time, I used to work for Safaricom on the marketing team that helped launch 4G. So it's pretty exciting to be back here in this full circle moment.
Fantastic. Last but not least, who's the character on your top?
Pikachu.
Pikachu. Yeah. Got that, guys? Called Pikachu. So yes, Brian, tell us more about yourself.
Thank you first of all for having me. And also, I'm a professional esports athlete, a gamer, and I call myself a survivor. I actually come from Kibra, and I want to take this opportunity to thank Safaricom for giving me the opportunity to be here, because they're the ones who picked me and said, bro, you game too hard. We wanted to teach people how to game and become like you. And ever since they picked me, I've been gaming, going to tournaments, going to talks about gaming, and just trying to get more youth into the space, because gaming is about the youth. And most of them complain, hakuna job, there's no work. So I felt like, yeah, I'm going to teach them all to game. And that's how I ended up being the beast and being here with you today. So professionally, I'm a gamer. I play video games for a living. I mentor in gaming, and I've gone to the extent of testing games. Recently invited at the AU to test games now. And I feel this is the right time to be here, because, 5G is here. No more lag. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I think I love the description he gave of himself. He said, I am an athlete. I am an athlete. Because these guys would sit on what's the longest streak you've had?
You want the math?
What's the craziest longest streak you've had?
Okay, the longest I had is almost 29 hours straight. It was a LAN party, and guys had come from Uganda, so they had been longing to play with me. And again, internet connection is bad, so the experience online was not that good. So the first time we actually got to play together, it just went 24 hours straight to 26 hours. Yeah, that's the longest.
That's crazy. So I'll come back to you, Moses, and looking at it from a business angle, what do you think would really make 5G stand out as a differentiator for businesses?
For me, I think the one variable that none of us can change in life is time. All right, time is a fixed quality. You only have 24 hours a day. But what can change is what you do in that time. And I think when you look at internet bandwidth and speed, I mean, the fact that 5G can be as fast as 100 times faster than 4G, and I think we all know the moments when our connection drops from 4G to 3G, we almost lose our minds. You start to imagine the possibilities of 5G over 4G. So in our case, for instance, at our company, we're still working remotely, 2.5+ years later. We still have an office that we don't use, but everyone works remotely. And we send gigabytes and gigabytes of data to each other every day as part of our workflow. So for me, the idea, the notion that my connection can be 100 times faster means that we get more done within the limited time we have there. And that means better results for customers, better cash flow because we're finishing work quicker, but more importantly, because all our systems run in the cloud, we suddenly become a much more effective business.
Fantastic. And I like that angle of the creative space, because if there are creatives in the room, actually people from the media fraternity and bloggers, we know some of our favorite tools have gone cloud. The Adobe Suite, it's all in the cloud, all this stuff, and sometimes it requires heavy lifting. And if you don't have enough juice, I mean, you're sunk, because now suddenly the excuse becomes, siezi tu makazi because my connection is low. It's telling me it's gonna take some other 12 hours to sync. And yesterday when doing some tests, the speeds we experienced here are crazy. So literally it means no more excuses. And what does that mean in terms of transformation for your company, people in the digital space, or even media companies? Now that we're looking at differentiated consumption, and and everyone is a citizen reporter.
I think it's incredible because we can't even start to imagine the use cases that are going to come out of 5G. I think content creators, people working in the space, innovators will start showing us the way in terms of what you can do with that sort of bandwidth. At the same time, I think what it just means is that, the comment that was made earlier that, the reaction time of 5G is faster than the human can react. I mean, that's just incredible. It means, like you pointed out, the industrial scenario where a mine is using 5G to allow people to sit in a nice, comfortable environment and work remotely. So the use cases have been mentioned, e-health, agriculture, all sorts of possibilities. But I think we might end up being surprised, as we have seen with other technologies, what people actually use it for versus what we think they might use it for. We might discover that there are possibilities that we've never even imagined that make things happen. And for me, I'm just particularly excited that we can get so much more done when 5G comes to the market in terms of our productivity as a business and how we serve our clients.
Fantastic. I like what you said about everyone having the same 24 hours, right? But now, what you do within 24 hours is dependent on how quickly you can get stuff done, right? So with 5G, it means that you can get more tasks done and probably unlock more opportunities, which brings me to you, Rehema, saying, as a developer, have you kind of like pinpointed what sort of value 5G is going to unlock for you?
Well, I think for technologists in general, one of the more interesting things that 5G can unlock is the Internet of Things, which has been touched on a little bit by earlier speakers. But essentially, IoT is all about connecting devices, things. So whether it's mobile devices, cars, your fridge, your kettle, anything that you can put a sensor in that can collect data about the world around it, connect that to the internet. And 5G can really enhance that connection. It can enable real-time computing, and that can create some really interesting interactions. Hopefully, as people continue to build and develop in this space, you can start to create really interesting solutions for smarter and more efficient businesses, but also homes and cities. And I think, we're already seeing a lot of IoT applications in Kenya currently. Everything from virtual weigh stations to traffic monitoring. It's being used in agriculture. There's lots of use cases that are really interesting. And for people who are working in product, in design, and in engineering, it's an opportunity for us to build really interesting products and experiences that I think can help people engage with the world around them in more interesting ways.
Fantastic. I think one of the things that we have seen is, especially as the world has gone remote, we've had a competition for talent. And I think one of the things connectivity enables is that you sitting in Kenya can essentially now be hyper competitive in the global space, because you can then access opportunities, whether they're from Russia, whether they're from the US, without thinking, will I be able to then engage with the customer in a real way, and therefore increasing your earning opportunities. Brian, to you now.
Yes.
How is this? I know you talked about your first, that great streak being a LAN party, which means you gather in a room, you're on the same network, and the only reason you did that is because remote could not work.
Yes.
How else does 5G then enable you to either become a better gamer or increase your income?
So low latency, like lag, is a very big factor when it comes to gaming. So you find most of the time when you want to play with guys even from South Africa, you can't because of a difference of, let's say, like 20 ping. So in Africa, the best you can get is almost 60, just being around here, And sometimes you lose in the game not because you're bad, but because of the internet. So if the internet is better, it gives you a better opportunity for you as an athlete to better your skills. It gives you a firm standing of knowing, like, this is where I really stand. So if you're beaten, you're actually beaten and you need to go and train, and you won't blame it on lag like most of us do, yeah? So that is one thing. Another thing is gaming also requires you to, like, get funds. You want corporates to see you. You want to stream, yeah? When the internet is slow, people won't enjoy your streams. There will be lag, there will be all that. So you won't be giving out quality. People won't get to know the beast, But when the internet is good and you can stream properly, you get attention from corporates and both people who are interested in gaming. And so when they come and they tell you, we want you to hype our new phone with the new game, and we have this, the internet will make it way easier for you to, grow yourself as a gamer and also grow the gaming community. We, like I say, in Africa, we don't have gaming servers. We depend on servers from abroad to play. So already you're playing at a disadvantage when you're playing with guys from outside. So when you lose this, you don't lose because you're bad, you lose because of the internet. So this is going to be a big game changer, and I, for one, I'm just like, I'm hype and ready for it.
Fantastic. You out allow Mujembe, like Safaricom is saying, no excuses. We've leveled the playing field. It's now your skill. It's almost like, what other parallel would I give? A game like chess. You can only really compete with yourself. So self-improvement would be the only edge you have, because now the barrier for this has been removed.
Yes.
And an interesting nuance I saw online is the amount of content that people are consuming just watching guys like Brian play. Again, an uncle to many nephews and nieces who literally sit there on YouTube and watch. Give me some names. PewDiePie, who's a multi-millionaire. Who's a multi-millionaire dollar terms, who just does what? He records himself playing. He said the difference between maybe gamers and a game like football is, imagine getting someone paying you to see you type your Word document. That's how easily these guys are making money. Because the guy is playing and he could be losing, for all we know, but he's making money. So these are the sort of opportunities that 5G is enabling.
Yes.
Yeah. So to Rehema, I mean, beyond now access to those opportunities and building maybe bespoke applications, are there any risks that this might also bring? Because we must also temper the great and the positive and the negative. What do you think would we need to look out for?
Sure. So with increased connectivity comes concerns about security, as always, and that's an existing concern already. I think one of the interesting things about 5G is that there are levels of security that are already built into the protocol and how everything works. So that's wonderful, but the onus is on us, both as consumers, but also as people building these digital products, to ensure that we're putting security at the center of everything that we're doing. It's one thing to say, oh, my data will now move really, really fast, but wherever it reaches, wherever the destination of that data is, will it be secure and safe there? And that's a thing that we have to be very on top of, to make sure that this is actually continues to be secure as more things become connected.
Fantastic. Moses?
Yeah, I think security is very much front and center. And I think just last week we were at a cybersecurity conference in Naivasha with Director General of Communications Authority, Ezra. And that really came out that the onus is on the individual to take the steps and the measures that they need to. A lot of the security issues often are through social engineering. So again, digital literacy does play a role in this, but also at the organization level, we have to put in the pieces that allow us to secure our network, secure our users, so that they are indeed protected as they start really going onto this high-speed internet.
Fantastic. In closing, maybe Brian, you could tell us, what are some of the, I mean, you're a gamer and you sit there and you play, but what are some of the other careers that are around that sort of gaming experience?
I think let's just start with streaming. You know, like let's say in Kenya, most of the people who game don't stream a lot. Most of the people in Kenya are competitive gamers. Like they just go to a tournament and that's it. They don't have an online following. They don't have any of that sort. Like it's starting. So I think with the 5G where they can get more fans, you know, you'll have a following, you'll have fans, you'll be like PewDiePie's but in Africa. And by 5G, this will enable this. I mean, I won't need to go to tournaments. What I will just do is I'll start streams and teach people how to be like me, you know? Like what we did with Blaze, we went around the country talking about gaming, but this time I'll just do it from YouTube and be like, hey, what game do you want to see me play? I log in, download it. I mean, downloading games also, you see? Like downloading Call of Duty can take you 1 week if you don't have good net. And if you have fast net, a few hours. But with 5G, this will be like a 2-minute thing. And especially now that there is cloud gaming, like on Xbox, like you can play from your phone connected to your Xbox or your TV. I mean, I can't even start putting the opportunities that are going to arise. And you know how people are creative, especially with now TikTok and everything. Yeah. So we'll have TikTok gamers, we'll have Facebook gamers, we'll have YouTube gamers. And for me, I'm just like, I can't wait to join and start some of this. I just started streaming. So I feel it's an opportunity for me as a gamer to grow and get more audience and get more eyes to see what I do best.
Fantastic. Yes. And maybe just to bring some of these concepts home, he's wearing a really nice jersey, right? And you may be in the audience and you're wondering, where can I get one like that? So my thought is, probably you're on a 5G device and you're streaming this live, and it just pops up, and something pops up and says, you know, buy this, it's Pikachu, it's from brand X, buy now. Then you click on it and you can very quickly see, would it fit me? Would that yellow look nice with my tone of brown and things like that? And you're now stitching the experience, and then you say, okay, size medium, pay, M-Pesa SDK push, buy, delivery. No, you simply bring it home. So we even remove it from the really general sort of concept of saying 5G and bring it home. Last comments from you, Moses?
For me, I think I'd like to say that I think I'm really excited. I'm really keen to see what's possible. The one concern I have is obviously devices and coverage, which I'm sure will be mentioned today. But I think the more people who can have this, the bigger the game changer it becomes. And I think I'm super excited to see the endless possibilities that we can't even imagine that users are going to start showing us are possible because of 5G.
Fantastic, thank you. Rehema, closing with you.
I think as a developer, one of the things that I'm really excited about is seeing opportunities for people who are already in the industry to learn more and to enter these different areas to build, whether it's IoT or just different expansions that can utilize the 5G platform. So I'm hoping that some of the companies and folks represented here will start to build out some of those opportunities for developers to get involved.
Asanteni. Ladies and gentlemen, help me appreciate my panel as they walk off stage. Thank you so much for your insights. Now, as they leave the stage, I think we can assume that the network is now live, so I should be able to access it immediately. But that might not be the case. There's still a story or a case to be made for accessibility. And yesterday at the meeting we had with Peter Ndegwa, he spoke about, can we look at using things like, and this, I'm looking at the DG here, can we look at using things like the Universal Service Fund to make sure that the devices are now more accessible? Because now we've got the network, we've got all these opportunities. We've heard from the Beast saying that, you know what, you can actually make money playing games, but how much does that device cost? You know, can we look at probably subsidizing that and making it more affordable to drive not only its utility, but to also now enhance the network is there, now we have to drive the consumption of it. Next on stage, I'd like to invite our next speaker, who's none other than Safaricom CEO, Peter Ndegwa, to give us his remarks. Peter, karibu.
Always. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are launching 5G and you don't have energy. Yeah, you know, you always have to make sure that your presentation works before you start speaking, in case you make a couple of errors. I thought before I start what I wanted to say, just to thank the MC, Mbugwa, and for bringing this launch to life. And one of the things I wanted to say on the Kahoot, I don't know how many of you got the I think it was 5 questions or 6 questions out of. First, I need to say I got them right. But that's not the big news. I realized, and this is actually very relevant for today, I realized speed is all that matters. I think I was number 68, despite the fact that I got all of them right. Brings 5G to life. I also enjoyed the panel discussion. I really enjoyed some of the kind of use cases. But Michael and I were saying, I had no clue what Brian was saying. You know, the beast and what he does is half of the stuff you said we didn't understand. And I know that you compared gaming with reels, with football and all those things, and we are saying those are real sport, like the ones we know. And but fantastic to be here. Yeah. So just acknowledge the presence of Ezra Chiloba, Director of Communication Authority. I always behave well when my regulator is around because he could do a few things that I don't like. But welcome, Ezra. And I also want to acknowledge all the board members who are present. Michael, I can see Winnie, and any other board member who is present from Safaricom, and also those online. CEOs from our partner companies, Huawei and Nokia, Will and Rami. I know that when you made your speeches, you really pitched for more investment. I could say some of them talking about how good it is. You know, what they didn't tell you is they are telling you they are very good in terms of suppliers, but good to have you as partners. Members of the fourth estate, I think if there is anything that's relevant for you, and especially those who really handle a lot of content, 5G is big. And all invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, both in this room but also online. So welcome this morning. Honored here today to be involved in the commercial launch of Kenya's 5G network. I've recognized the DG of ICT. We were also supposed to have the Cabinet Secretary, the new Cabinet Secretary, but I'm told that they're going through the formalization process. So looking forward to working with the new ICT Cabinet Secretary, Eliud, and congratulate him for his appointment. I also want to say thank you to you, Ezra, for providing us the necessary support. I know you ran a very successful process on the 5G spectrum, which allows us to be able to do what we are doing today, and to also bring 5G to Kenyans. This move speaks to our strategic intent of being a digital lifestyle enabler and our commitment to always deliver the most advanced technologies to our customers. We've always prided ourselves to combining the power of innovation and technology, or the power of technology and innovation to solve societal challenges, but also customer issues. Over the past 22 years, we've invested in our network and leveraged the power of mobile technology. And Michael was reminding me when the handset, one of the handsets was, I think 2000, the handset that was put on the screen. And he remembers where he bought it from and how much it cost him. So the world has come a long way. By investing consistently, and we take for granted the level of investment upgrading this network takes, by investing consistently about 35 billion Kenya shillings on expanding our infrastructure, our network has earned the distinction in its reach, in its reliability, and its quality. And thank you, CEO from Nokia, for comparing us with Spain. I lived in Europe, so I know just the difference. But also, recently, we transmitted elections results, and no one talked about MNOs or Safaricom or the CA, which is fantastic. Shows just how much progress we have made as an industry in terms of network investment, but also access. So in future, I hope that we can now transmit results, not with 4G, but with 5G, which will even make it easier. So today, our 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G in aggregate covers anywhere between 96 and 99% of Kenyan population, while our fiber network, which is also a very important backbone, has connected more than 200,000 homes. These are connected homes, but homes passed is closer to 400,000. And these are connected to fast and reliable internet. Our goal is to establish a universal coverage such that anywhere in the country it will be possible to enjoy an excellent internet service. And the MC has said something which is very important. The way to deliver internet coverage is to make sure the network exists, which we have invested a lot. The second is handsets. Only 1 out of 3 Kenyans own a 4G device, and we'll talk about 5G in a minute. So that's the other big area of focus. There's about 15 million people who have 2G devices. They cannot enjoy the speeds we are talking about or the internet access unless we provide those. So that's the other big area that we'll be focusing on. And then the third one is, of course, content. And you've had the conversation about how to handle content. Of course, the handsets and the network helps, but also the ability to have more use cases is very important. So those are the 3 things that really enable people to enjoy and utilize the internet. So fast internet also opens fresh opportunities for business by enabling them to leverage online marketplaces, reach new consumers, customers, implement innovative operating models to grow their revenues. And there are so many stories that have been told about what is possible. This will help businesses to reap the digital dividend, grow sustainably, and be part of disruption sweeping across many industrial sectors and many industries and sectors. The new government has made ICT as central to how to empower the population, and we believe 5G will be another addition to the ability of this country to go and march forward. So in March last year, we became the first operator in the country to commence 5G trials for our customers. At that time, we only had about 15 sites. Today, as we go live, we have just over 35 sites live, and there is quite a few more that are being built. And we will grow these to about 200 by March 2023. The 5G network will enable our customers to enjoy unprecedented levels of connectivity and low latency. I'm sure latency is the word that has been used today many times. I'm sure in another few weeks, every Kenyan will know what latency is. But I think it is Brian who brought it to life in terms of the lag piece, but also the no excuse. So I think that we can now start to taking latency for granted. It will also complement our fiber network. We believe the 5G complements our fiber network by empowering Kenyans with super fast internet speeds, both at home but also at work. So starting today, customers, and this is to bring it to at a practical level because there are so many elements that will come into the future. Customers in 5G ready areas can now enjoy fast and reliable internet connectivity for their homes and businesses. Customers using supported 5G smartphones will be able to access the 5G network in covered areas, only in covered areas, and browse at super fast 5G speeds. Some people might start moving houses just to access 5G. Plans are already underway to provide 5G data packages for mobile internet, which will be ready by December, but the home ones will be ready immediately. So supported smartphones, because we know a smartphone or 5G enabled smartphones are still at a low level. Supported smartphones include 5G enabled devices from Samsung Galaxy S. I think my wife would really be happy with this. And Fold series, as well as the Huawei and Oppo 5G devices. I think you guys must have put this in my notes, Will. For iPhones, people like me who use iPhones, by the way, for iPhone users like me, the select 5G capable and for iPhone users and select 5G capable Samsung devices will have to wait for a software upgrade or update later in the year to access the 5G network. This is not a Safaricom issue. Yeah, I also have an iPhone, so I'm not sure whether I should keep the iPhone or whether I should change. But currently we have 200,000 5G smartphones on our network. As you know, the reason why we have very low penetration of 5G handsets is because of cost, and we see that cost coming down quite significantly. The adoption of 5G smartphone levels remain low, largely, as I've said, due to high level of the cost of devices. We will continue to work with our partners who sell devices or who supply devices and leverage our pay-as-you-go device financing solutions like Lipa Mdogo Mdogo to avail more affordable both 4G and also 5G smartphones. For homes and businesses, we have a wireless connectivity solution dubbed 5G Wi-Fi. To enjoy this product, and this is when you need to take note, you need to be in a 5G ready zone. You can find out if you are in a 5G ready zone by visiting internet.safaricom.co.ke, and I'm sure we'll also put it in our apps. Existing 5G zones are spread across Nairobi, Kisumu, Kisii, Kakamega, and Mombasa. They forgot my county. Once you have confirmed 5G coverage in your area, you can purchase the 5G router at 25,000, so it's, plus a setup fee of 5,000, or sign up to a 36-month contract, which you receive the router all included within the package that you sign up. The service will be available in 3 introductory plans, which are 10 Mbps with a usage limit of about 300 GB at Kenya shillings 3,499, so just below 3.5. 40 Mbps with a usage limit of 500, and at 5,999, sorry, and then 100 Mbps with a usage limit of 1 terabyte, yeah, at 14,999. Someone yesterday mentioned that this is the kind of usage they want. So there is a package for everyone, and it's for you to choose depending on your user requirements. So customers will be able to continue using the internet at these speeds if they at slightly less speed if they deplete their allocated limits. These plans offer fantastic value and provide worry-free, reliable high-speed internet for use at home and for enterprises, and will be available to customers for the first 6 months of the service as a test or as an introductory offer. So in conclusion, I would like to appreciate the Safaricom team who came together to put a lot of effort to ensure that the 5G wireless connectivity is a success, both the technology team, the commercial teams, but also our partners. I think I've already mentioned our partners who are in the forefront of deploying 5G technology globally. And the advantage of having partners who have deployed 5G globally is they can share experiences of what other countries are going through, and we can actually really take advantage, but also avoid any issues that other countries may have experienced. 5G ushers in an era of new possibilities, as you'll have heard. The promise of connectivity with low latency and high reliability will enable extraordinary experience for every industry, for every business, and for the society. We therefore view 5G as being critical in delivering new solutions that will address economic development in healthcare, in manufacturing, in infrastructure, and even in delivery of government services. It will impact the lives of many people in different ways and ensure that we are at par with the rest of the world when it comes to digital technology, and indeed in many ways will be leading the way. We look forward to using this technology to create sustained growth benefits for our customers, our country, and beyond for our borders, beyond our borders. So for us in Safaricom, we are really delighted to be leading the way on innovation. We are delighted to be continuing to focus on our purpose of transforming lives, but really delivering on our vision of being a purpose-led technology company, which is using technology and innovation to bring new services to customers that impact and empower them to live the lives they want, but also to enable business to be the best they can be, as we've seen as examples. So thank you for gracing the occasion, and I'm assuming many of you will be our customers in the foreseeable future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. I think you take rather lightheartedly the comment you made about people moving homes. People actually move homes for connectivity. I have seen it firsthand on the ground where people will tell a landlord, msipofanya hivi, msipoleta fiber, for example, tunahama. So it's actually a real thing, and I can already see the meme with all our landlords now saying 5G ready, you know, but you're saying, please don't increase rents. Yeah, because the excuse will be, hii ni nyumba na pia sasa ni ofisi. You know, you don't need to go to the office. So for that value that we've given you, and you don't have to spend an extra 4,000 shillings every month going to the office, now this establishment, the rent will raise by 5K, because it is now 5G ready. Another interesting conversation that we must have and probably will address later is the issue of fair use. Unajua, Wakenya, tukienda kwa buffet, we think we can finish it all. Hopefully, look at, now I've made you self-aware. I would have said just look at your neighbor, maybe during lunch, and see how they heap that plate. When you're told unlimited, you think that you have the capacity to consume it all. Na unajaza sahani, but what ends up happening is most of the time you end up having unused capacity. So fair use is something that we need to interrogate and understand much better, because even if you are to sit at home on your 4K TV and stream the latest movie, I highly doubt you'd hit some of those high thresholds. Maybe Brian too, gaming and all that. Maybe yeye ndio anaweza patiwa, some leeway. But fair use is something that we must keep talking about, because it allows us to then continue enjoying the resources available to us. So it is now my distinct honor and pleasure to invite on stage the Director General of the Communications Authority of Kenya, Ezra Chiloba, who will also be speaking on behalf of our CS, Ministry of Information, Communication, and I love this part, digital economy. I love that it's now being included and recognized. So the CS, Ministry, Information, Communication, and Digital Economy, Eli Dewalo. Karibu DG.
It's a bit of too much lighting, which is good also because then I don't have to see anyone. Now, the problem I'm having this morning is I got 2 speeches. I'm wondering how to navigate this. As a regulator, I need to do what the regulators are supposed to do. But I have a new boss also in town, who is my minister. I have to represent him. So I'll see what to do. And of course, the CS's remarks take precedence. But before maybe I get into that, to read his speech, I want to appreciate the Safaricom team led by Peter here. Of course, it was nice seeing Michael this morning. He was reminding me that Safaricom was born the same time the Communication Authority of Kenya was born. So we had Safaricom, we had Telcom, and we had the Communication Commission of Kenya, CCK, many years ago. So we kind of evolving together, you know. So it's really a distinguished honor to be in this place during this time. So yesterday, this morning, when I looked at my phone, I saw a message from Peter, and he said, no, this is a small launch. A small launch. I think he was being careful because we are just about to launch something 5G. I'll speak about that later. But I want to tell you, Peter, that this is not a small launch. This is perhaps a small big launch. That's how we can play. We could actually christen this one. Small, but what you're talking about is really big. Looking at the trends and where the world is moving towards in terms of technology. Now, just a little bit about what we do as the regulator of the sector. One of our mandates is to really look at efficient and effective ways of allocating spectrum resource. And in this business of ours is to allocate these resources on behalf of the public to entities that can convert that resource into greater value. And frequency is a thing we do on a daily basis, not just allocating, but also monitoring its use. I'm glad to report that in the last few years, we've been involved in the process of developing what we call the 5G roadmap. We were just about to launch the 5G roadmap for the country. But then, of course, elections came, and here we are. So with Safaricom launching its commercial 5G business, this is a precursor of a major event that we're looking forward to, which is now providing the national framework in terms of how the sector is going to operate, and as far as the rollout of the 5G is concerned. I'm not from the technology world, but I'll read and learn a lot about what's happening in the technology world. And one of the things we'll appreciate about this change, or this evolution of connectivity, is that 5G is not any other form of connectivity. Is actually a different form of connectivity. And you can see, listening to the beast here, good to see you. You made me look a bit older, much older than I actually thought. It's a different world altogether. And also 5G is not a replacement of 4G, by the way. From our own analysis, and even the way we've set up the regulatory framework, is that they're going to operate simultaneously. Only that the 5G component is going to transform how we use data and how we experience the power of data. And starting at this particular point, I think to me is very, very important. And Safaricom, just to state that we are always very proud of you, especially when we are out of Kenya. We must talk about Safaricom in the most positive way. You will think that I work for you. But of course here I'm the regulator, so we have to manage the relationship a little bit better. So we really are pleased that you've taken the initiative to start us off in this market. Remember a couple of years ago, of course, we allocated some spectrum through refarming to allow you to undertake some pilot to see the possibilities that the network brings. And the fact that you've taken the step to launch the commercial component of this, it basically proves that you're confident about the future of this network and the future of the business in the new world of 5G. Of course, listening to Huawei and Nokia, I've been in some of your meetings and I get wowed by the trends in technology. And what I see is some kind of paradox. You can see enthusiasts, people who are really pushing this direction in terms of where we should be going. But then the majority of us get a little bit concerned about the reordering of the way of living. You know, a lot of us default to the common, the conventional, the traditional. But with this type of innovation or evolution of network capability or connectivity, we have to move ourselves from the traditional, the conventional, to the new world. And that's what the tech companies are actually doing. So there's a little bit of the change of the mindset in this, at this particular point in time. Something else I have to mention, other than the individual experiences, the 5G potential for the industrial setup is going to be immense. And here we're talking about the vertical use of the network. So the challenge from an enterprise perspective is not just about us who are here. Perhaps, Peter, you'll have to have another event where you bring in players from other sectors, the manufacturing sector. We were discussing this morning, the shipping, the port operations, the hospital players, you know. It's basically a new customer base in terms of how we can deploy and utilize the 5G. So from where we are, a regulatory point of view, I think we really elated by this opportunity and to be here, to be able to be talking about the future of connectivity and the potential it has for our country. Now, the last bit, which I don't want to include in the minister's remarks, is this. So when I got the invitation, I looked at the letter, and the venue was the rooftop. So I wondered, the rooftop. Safaricom is a big company. We should be going to other places, White Sands and everywhere. But the rooftop at Yaya. And so when I was driving to this place, there's a coffee place. Let me promote this guy here. He does the best coffee in this country, just across the road. And since I pick my coffee there every morning, I said I'll be passing there, but trying to assess where is this rooftop place that Safaricom is going to host us. So we came to I got here, and I realized it's a proper organization. It's a small group of people. Then, I also noted that there are some masts or some antennas on the utmost part of this building. If you love the countryside like I am, we have challenges with the connectivity. What we do is that you either, if you have a car, you go on the roof of the car, or you climb a tree to be able to catch quality network, isn't it? So I thought that maybe this rooftop idea is to create this impression that actually we have connectivity, while actually we don't. So next time, from a regulatory point of view, we'll try to launch such a program in the basement, perhaps, to test the quality of this network. So it's my hope, and Peter, congrats to you, that with 5G, and given the manner in which you've done, the way you've done business in other fields, what we're looking forward is that this rooftop is basically a metaphor for better connectivity, metaphor for better experience, and a metaphor for available connectivity throughout. So once again, congratulations, Peter, for this. So let us remember the rooftop, availability, better experience, and quality connectivity. Thank you very much. Now, allow me to read the remarks of our new minister, or the cabinet secretary, who I spoke to this morning. And perhaps next time, Nokia, we were talking about the hologram. You're talking about virtual reality. So next time, we'll not be registering absence. I'll not be speaking on behalf of. He can afford to be here virtually because of 5G, right? Through a hologram experience. So Peter, of course, recognizing Michael Joseph here as well. Will Meng, Remy Hashem from Nokia as well. Members of the Fourth Estate, good morning. So I'm delighted to join you for what is a significant milestone on the national agenda to continuously deepen the reach and quality of our broadband. Over the last 2 decades, Kenya's ICT sector has become renowned for its advanced developments, which have applied the use of cutting-edge solutions. When the internet first emerged, it was referred to as information superhighway. And perhaps that's why when you look at the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, you will see the agenda for building the digital superhighway. Now, it has transcended that definition to become an enabler of economies and lifestyles, allowing societies to realize the benefits of digital transformation. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are emerging from a historic global pandemic. COVID-19 has devastated lives everywhere, and the digital revolution has emerged as one of the saving graces. When humanity retreated to the safety of their homes to slow the spread of the virus, the digital revolution became the cushion, enabling families to keep in touch, people to work remotely, and learners to study online. Indeed, Kenyans are increasing their uptake of devices that enable them to access the digital revolution and harvest its dividends. Initiatives such as Safaricom smartphone financing campaign, Lipa Mdogo Mdogo, which began in July 2020, has played a big role in enabling this uptake. These initiatives align with our second national broadband strategy, which the ministry has been implementing from 2018 and will run all the way to 2023. Through this strategy, we aim to increase access to broadband coverage, increase digital literacy in schools, expand broadband to the 47 counties, and grow digital literacy among the workforce. Today, I'm pleased to note that we are ahead of the curve due to the collaboration we enjoy between government and the private sector in delivering our vision. However, there continues to exist challenges, such as the digital divide in accessing broadband services. Besides infrastructure capacity, limitations, and inadequate institutional frameworks, cybersecurity, privacy, and data protection have also affected the uptake of broadband services in the country. Nevertheless, the knowledge economy, also known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, continues to provide a platform that Kenya can leverage to actively participate in the global economy. This invariably demands high-speed broadband and data services. I am informed that Safaricom, you continue to play your part and have covered nearly the entire country with a 4G network. But broadband will continue to enable connections that will create more opportunities that will help transform the everyday lives of Kenyans, particularly in a modern economy where new knowledge plays a central role in wealth creation, social welfare, and international competitiveness. As a ministry, our strategy is to build capacity in tech innovation and utilization of knowledge to transform the economy of this country. We have developed several frameworks to drive this development, such as the Digital Blueprint for Africa, the National Broadband Strategy, the National ICT Master Plan, and the ICT Strategic Plan aimed at transforming the use of ICTs to spur economic growth. Additionally, we are working with several service providers like Safaricom to expand internet infrastructure to ensure increased network coverage, access, and affordability. Today, I'm gratified to join you in launching your commercial 5G network. It dovetails perfectly with our work at the Ministry of ICT. I am aware that 5G networks and 5G innovations will require investment from telecom operators, and the return on this investment will be driven by consumer demand for new and innovative services. This is because 5G will be essential in meeting business and consumer demands by providing faster connectivity. In addition, we expect that 5G networks will facilitate new use cases such as the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and a host of other industrial applications. This development will ensure that Kenyans have the first mover advantage to lead Africa into the digital ecosystem, entrenching our position as the Silicon Savannah of our continent. In conclusion, let me appreciate the cooperation that we have seen from Safaricom over the 2 decades as we moved Kenya upwards in the adoption of mobile and internet networks. This has gone a long way in activating different forms of economic activity across the country, and I look forward to seeing the great transformational impact of the 5G network. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, DG, for your remarks and comments. And he speaks about talking highly of Safaricom when he's outside of the borders. And for me, what rings true is that travel a bit and then you get to appreciate how much you take for granted back home in terms of the quality of network that you get access to. My own experience is that huko nje, people have the hindernet, because there's absolutely nothing you can do. You can't send an email, you can't call, you can't WhatsApp. So for them, they have the hindernet. But us, huku nyumbani, which we need to appreciate more and more often, is that we have networks that work. Now we're getting onto 5G, and we really need to appreciate that. Now, Peter, as I was out in the crowd, you know, someone called your bluff, and he said, I want to challenge Peter and see if he really has the fastest network in town. And the thing is that the guy who's calling your bluff is not only known for being fast, he's actually the real deal. So ladies and gentlemen, we do have Eliud Kipchoge, world record holder and Olympic champion in the room. So Peter, if you'll come with me.
Welcome.
Sana.
Check. I hope I'm not being asked to run against Eliud. There are things I can do and there are things I can't.
So Eliud, asante sana for actually gracing us at this special event and for allowing us to do this. And you're known for speed, reliability, all the things that Peter here says this 5G thing is. So what challenge do you have for Peter today?
I want to know whether Peter's 5G is working.
Whether Peter's 5G is working. And how do you suppose you do this?
But Eliud is also known for being fast. The fast, but also fast.
The fast, but also being fast. But he says, now he's throwing the challenge back to you. You're running away, boss.
I'm trying to avoid the challenge.
Exactly.
But
so,
I'm happy to accept the challenge.
Fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, how we're going to do this is we're going to go all the way to Berlin, where Peter here, naangeanza kutoa koti, you know, it's Peter here will be transported into Berlin, where he'll meet Kipchoge virtually, and he'll attempt to beat him there. And because we know it is impossible to beat the greatest of them all, the only way he can attempt to gain that advantage and be all that he can be is that if he's able to grab the 5G tokens along the way. Bila hiyo, it's a pipe dream. So
this is when you don't know what is likely to happen.
So I'd like to request for Eliud, Peter, and Bonadiji, Michael Joseph Fauzia, Morton, and Shaka to please follow me to the back. For the rest of you guys, please just remain seated. We'll be projecting it on the screen here as I go and rig Peter up to his VR kit, and we get transported to Berlin. This is the metaverse that we're talking about. You're on the rooftop, but you're also in Berlin. So you can see Peter getting his mental game on. And this is a locally developed experience as well. So Eli, if you come on this side, so you could also probably direct Peter and cheer him on over here. So Peter, how this works is you'll wear the VR headset, and then you'll be given the tools that you'll use to do the controls. And how it works is you can't abdicate this one. So how it works is the faster you run, you know, literally how you run faster and you mimic that action, moving your hands up and down, is the faster you'll move in the game. And as soon as you see a 5G token, grab it and you will see the difference. Let me tell you, you will feel the difference. For those in the audience, after Peter is done and after we are done with the event, do come and try this thing out. You actually feel the difference that 5G is going to deliver for you. So Eliud, maybe some tips as Peter is getting prepped here. What goes into preparing for something like the Berlin Marathon?
A lot is going on. You spend a lot of minutes, hours, and days and months in training, and I trust Peter spent on this thing.
Fantastic. So Eliud says hours and months and years in training to be able to do this. But also, Eliud, ile kiatu pia ni the tooling is good, correct? To enable you to achieve some of those goals.
Absolutely.
So in the same breath, we can see that talking about access to opportunities and talent, access to technologies like 5G will also enable you to actually achieve your goals. So Peter selected Berlin. He's about to start. And he's getting a pep talk from Eliud in virtual reality. And here we go. We're now at the starting point. Eliud is ahead. Peter, Eliud is ahead. Yes, don't miss the 5G token. The 5G token. Grab the 5G token. Eliud is still ahead. 5G boost. Hey, take it. You can look behind. Oh, no, he's there. Hapa kwa hapa. Oh, and you can see Peter is actually turning physically turning in the room as he's running after Eliud.
Where is the other token?
Peter, there's other token. There's other token. There you go. Eliud is still in the lead. Wait. There, This is what we call second wind. And Peter is moving those arms like crazy. On there, you can actually.
Michael, you want to be faster?
Peter. Eliud is there. Ako hapo na wewe.
But where
There it is. There it is. There it is. Grab it. And Peter can actually hear himself panting in there. It's like, we're on the last mile. We're on the last mile. Peter is physically turning in the room. Peter is physically turning in the room. The coat should have gone off.
I think Michael should have come and done this.
We're almost there. One more token. One more token. There we go. We're almost home. We're almost home. But Eliud is still in the lead.
There's 5G.
Oh! Eliud is still in the lead. Peter's catching up. Peter's catching up. We're almost there. Raise your hands in celebration because we are done. Round of applause for Peter. Eliud is congratulating him on screen there. And I think Peter's going to tell you how you're able to physically experience the change in speeds. And Eliud, truly you're a champion. Even in virtual reality, we are finding it a bit difficult to beat you. But I think the ambition is there for everyone in the room here at Yaya Center. Do come and try this one out. Round of applause for Peter and his great effort there.
Yeah, and I should not have been in a suit. But yeah, it was difficult to beat Eliud. But 5G, we were very close, isn't it? I think I was two
milliseconds.
Yeah, 2 hours 2 minutes, which is better than your normal record, is it?
And thank
But
you to
very nice, really.
and thank you to our able witnesses. They were here when Peter took on Eliud Kipchoge. And as they take their seats, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to change our attention back to the screen. Back to the screen as our guests take their seats. As we now officially launch Safaricom 5G. So, a last remark from Eliud. Eliud, what tips would you give aspiring athletes here? What should they do to be able to get to at least a semblance of your abilities?
First is that, life is about movement.
Life is about movement.
Yes, and those who are walking, if you want to walk intelligently and in a good way, you should move. If we can package movement,
yes,
we can sell it actually. We can actually keep a tag price as $1 trillion movement. So let us move when you are walking. Let us move when we are everywhere.
Fantastic.
Yes.
You heard that. Keep moving, and that could be synonymous with keep innovating, keep disrupting, which is what you're doing. Another round of applause for Peter. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Come on, guys. Are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're live. Kenya's first 5G network is live, and it gives you the speed speed and reliability to do it all. Not just do more, but do it all. Remember, you can go to internet.safaricom.co.ke to find out if you're in a 5G ready zone. And as we close, I'd like us to have a few photo ops. And I'd like to call on stage for the first photo op, DG, Ezra Chiloba, Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa, Rami Hashem, and Will Meng. Kindly join us on stage for the first photo op. So if you ever asked if you know where 5G is, it is here. That thing there is symbolic of it. So another round of applause for the launch of Safaricom 5G. Done in collaboration with partners, the regulator, the telco Safaricom, and partners like Nokia and Huawei. Excellent. Asanteni sana. I'd like just stay on stage. I'd like to call on Fauzia, Morten, and Shaka to join as well for the next one. Photo op 2 with Ezra Chiloba, Peter Ndegwa, Rami Hashem, Will Meng, Fauzia, Morten, Shaka. Are the cameramen good now? I wouldn't be surprised if that gets adopted. Eliud. Michael Joseph as well. Testing the 5G connectivity. Join us on stage. Just to reiterate, Eliud is here as a special guest. He's been a friend of Safaricom, and continues to tell us that speaking into movement, and has actually said we should package movement and keep moving, keep innovating. Thank you very much. So DG remain. Thank you to our partners and the internal teams at Safaricom for making this happen. Thank you, guys. Keep looking for the money shot. There's enough bandwidth to upload all those to studio right away. Asanteni sana. So another round of applause to them as they leave stage. What a fantastic morning. What a fantastic way to wrap it out. I'd like to remind you to visit internet.safaricom.co.ke to find out if you're in a 5G ready zone. And if you are, you need to get the device or you need to get the router, and continue to spread the word that Safaricom 5G network is now live. You've been a fantastic audience both here physically and out there online, and I'd like to say thank you for making time to be with us today. For those here at Yaya, kindly make time and go and have the full immersive experiences of what 5G can deliver. Asanteni sana and have a fantastic rest of your day.